She told me I wasn't strong enough to handle her. That was her excuse. Not for leaving. Not even for cheating. It was her way of pre-blaming me for the fallout she knew was coming. She said it like a challenge. Like she was daring me to object. Like I was supposed to fight her on it. Instead, I just stood there, absorbing the blow like I'd trained for it. Because in a way, I had. Loving her felt like trying to read in a hurricane. You could focus all you wanted, but the chaos didn't pause for your intention. She made it clear from the start that she was different. Complicated was the word she used. Not broken. Not manipulative. Just misunderstood, like it was my job to unravel her mystery with patience and bruises. And I bought in. God help me, I bought in. There were good days, sure. Moments that felt like redemption. She had this way of laughing with her whole face when she wasn't overthinking everything. She'd send me songs that reminded her of us. Wake me up with kisses that made the world feel right. But then there were the other days. The days where everything was an accusation. Where silence meant I didn't care, and words meant I was attacking. Where she'd vanish for hours, then come back crying, blaming the world, her past, her trauma, her hormones, anything but herself. And I stayed. Because I thought love was loyalty. I thought endurance was proof. Until one night, during an argument I don't even remember the start of, she looked me dead in the eyes and said it. "You're not strong enough to handle me." It was like she spat it from some place of power. Like she'd finally said the thing she wanted to say all along. I didn't yell. I didn't even flinch. I just nodded and walked out. Packed a bag that night and moved into a friend's place. Told myself I'd never go back. And I didn't. Not for a while. A few months went by. Silence. Then a message. Short. Polite. "Hope you're well." I didn't reply. Then another one. "Hey, quick question. Are you still able to keep me on your insurance for a bit?" I read it 3 times. No apology. No acknowledgement. Just an ask. A favor. After everything, she still saw me as a resource. Not a person. Not someone she gutted. Just someone with benefits. And the wildest part? I almost said yes. Because some part of me still wanted to be needed. Still wanted to be useful in her story, even if she'd rewritten my role to background support. But then I remembered those words. The way she said them. The venom behind the smile. Not strong enough to handle her. No. I wasn't. Because strength isn't staying through disrespect. It's knowing when enough is enough. I didn't reply to that message. I blocked her. Deleted the thread. Took her off everything. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel guilty for choosing myself. That's the part they don't prepare you for. How good it feels when you stop auditioning for someone who never planned to cast you properly. She was right in a way. I wasn't strong enough to handle her. But I am strong enough to walk away, and not look back. The hardest part of healing isn't the silence, it's what fills it. The memories. The almosts. The moments you thought were building towards something permanent, only to realize you were alone in the construction zone. After I blocked her, I expected relief. But what I got was echo. Echoes of conversations we had at 2 a.m., lying in bed with the kind of closeness you can't fake. Echoes of the plans we scribbled in notebooks, future apartments, possible baby names, weekend getaways that never made it out of Google Maps. I tried to delete it all. Photos. Texts. Voice memos. I even boxed up her stuff, left it outside with a message. "Come get this by Friday. Or it's gone." She didn't reply. But it was gone by Thursday morning. No knock. No note. Just absence. And I told myself that was closure. But closure isn't a clean inbox. It's a decision you remake every time the past tries to call you collect. I started therapy. First out of desperation, then out of discipline. I sat on that couch week after week, untangling why I kept falling for people who needed saving. Why I thought love had to hurt first to feel real later. And what I learned hurt worse than the breakup. Because the truth was, I stayed because I didn't believe I deserved better. Somewhere along the way, I confused struggle for depth. I thought chaos meant passion. That being needed was the same as being loved. It wasn't. One session, I remember telling my therapist, I think I was trying to prove her wrong by staying. Like if I could just keep showing up, she'd finally say you were enough. She looked at me and said something that cracked my spine. But the only person you needed to prove that to was you. And just like that, I stopped romanticizing her. I started remembering the full picture. The way she'd flirt in front of me and call it harmless. The way she'd weaponize her sadness, demand comfort, and then vanish once she got it. The way she used vulnerability as currency but never paid it back. I stopped calling it trauma bonding. I started calling it what it was. Emotional extraction. She drained me. Not all at once, but in sips. Complimenting me just enough to keep me hopeful. Punishing me just enough to keep me off balance. And I let her. That's the part one had to own. But owning it doesn't mean I deserve it. It just means I refuse to carry the blame for someone else's broken compass. Months passed. I got stronger. Not louder. Not colder. Just clearer. Then I got a message from someone who knew her. Hey. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I figured you should know. She's been telling people you abused her. That you were controlling. That she left for her safety. I sat there for a long time staring at those words. My hands didn't shake. My stomach didn't drop. I just felt done. This was the final distortion. The final attempt to rewrite the narrative so she could play victim and avoid accountability. But I didn't respond. I didn't defend myself to mutuals. I didn't go online and post screenshots. Because the people who matter know who I am. And the people who believe her? They're not my people. One night, I sat down and wrote a letter. Not to her. To myself. It said, You're not weak for loving her. You're not stupid for staying. You were hopeful. And hope is not a flaw. But now you choose peace. Now you choose boundaries. Now you choose someone who doesn't need to be handled, just held. I burned that letter in the sink. Felt like baptism. And I finally understood something. She was never too much for me. She was too little for herself. And that's not mine to fix. I used to think closure came from words, from apologies, conversations, final moments wrapped in emotional bow ties. Now I know it's a process. A decision you make when no one's watching. A quiet refusal to shrink yourself just to fit into someone else's chaos. It took a while to feel human again. To trust my own instincts. To walk into a room and not skin it for emotional landmines. But I got there slowly. I changed my number. Moved apartments. Got rid of that navy blue couch we used to fight on. Cut my hair. Took a solo trip across 3 states and slept under stars I used to dream about from a window I paid half the rent on while she told me her life was harder. Then one night, I met someone new. It wasn't some grand moment. No thunderclap. No instant soul recognition. Just a conversation. Clear. Present. Honest. Her name was Harper. She asked real questions. Listened without searching my answers for ammunition. She didn't try to impress me. She didn't make me prove my worth in exchange for proximity. We took things slow. Painfully slow. And for once, I was okay with that. 3 months in, we were at a farmer's market. She reached for my hand in front of everyone, then pulled me into a bakery just because she saw I was staring too long at the cinnamon rolls. That moment? That was louder than any apology my ex could have ever given me. It said, I see you. I want you here. You don't have to earn it. Harper didn't fix me. She didn't need to. Because by the time she showed up, I had already picked up most of my pieces. She just gave me a place to be whole again. One night, I told her everything. The storm. The health insurance message. The smear campaign. All of it. She didn't flinch. She just looked at me and said, You must have been really strong to survive all that. But I'm glad you don't have to be strong like that anymore. That's when I knew I was finally done with survival. I didn't need to prove I could endure anymore. I just needed to live. There's a version of me that still lives in that old apartment, the one who answered her texts, who bent over backwards to be enough, who mistook chaos for love. But I'm not him anymore. I wake up next to someone who doesn't punish me for peace. I say no, without guilt. I say yes without fear. I still have scars. But now, they're just reminders. Not anchors. And if she ever messages again, asks for another favor, another line of support, another piece of me, she won't get it. Because I finally learned. Love doesn't ask you to survive it. It asks you to show up as you are. And it stays when you do. Peace has a strange way of making you paranoid when you're not used to it. You start questioning calm, as if it's the eye of a storm you just haven't earned yet. For the longest time, I kept waiting for Harper to turn into her. To lash out. To withdraw. To suddenly say, "I don't think you're strong enough." But she never did. And eventually, I stopped flinching at the quiet. We moved in together. Small place. Nothing fancy. Plants on every windowsill, a shared Google Calendar, post-it notes on the fridge that just said, "Remember to breathe." Some nights we'd lie in bed, facing each other, and say absolutely nothing. Just let the stillness hold us. And in that stillness, I realized something I wish I'd learned years ago. Being understood is better than being adored. Adoration fades. Understanding builds. There was a day I caught a glimpse of my old self, flashing across the mirror like a ghost. It was right after a small disagreement. Something dumb about trash bags. But my tone snapped. I saw her flinch. Harper didn't cry. She didn't collapse. She just said, "I know that wasn't really about trash bags. Want to try again?" And in that moment, I grieved every version of myself that had to fight for emotional crumbs. Every time I said sorry just to end a war I didn't start. Every time I was told my hurt made me weak. Harper was proof that love isn't a prize, it's a place. One night, I opened a message I hadn't noticed for weeks. Buried in a hidden inbox folder. It was her. The ex. Just wanted to say I'm glad you're doing well. I see pictures sometimes. You look happy. I mean that. I stared at it for a long time. Not out of anger. Not out of nostalgia. But because for the first time in my life, I wasn't tempted to respond. I didn't need her validation. Because this version of me? He's not built on reactions. He's built on boundaries. On truth. On softness that doesn't collapse under weight. I shut the phone. Walked into the kitchen. Kissed Harper on the cheek while she read a book about moss ecosystems. She smiled like it was the best part of her day. And maybe it was. I don't know how my story ends. But I know it won't be written by someone who thought I was only strong when I was suffering. It'll be written in Sunday mornings. In shared silence. In choosing peace and being chosen back. That's what love is. Not fire. Not storms. Just light that stays. Sometimes I wonder what she tells people about me now. If I'm the villain in her retelling. The emotionally unavailable one. The guy who just couldn't handle her. I used to worry about that. I don't anymore. People are going to believe what makes sense to their version of her. And honestly, that's fine. I'm not here to correct everyone's memory. I'm here to live mine. Because the real flex isn't proving you were right. It's building a life so peaceful that you forget you ever had to. I'm not trying to sound enlightened. I still carry some of it. The reflexes. The edge. When Harper forgets to reply to a text, there's still a voice that whispers, "Here we go again." But it fades faster now. That voice is quieter. Because she always calls. Always circles back. Always shows up. And maybe that's all I ever needed, someone who doesn't treat presence like a performance. There's this photo on our fridge now. It's from a cabin trip last fall. We're wrapped in a blanket, half laughing, hair a mess. Nothing posed. Nothing perfect. But it's the realest thing I've ever seen. Underneath it, Harper scribbled a note. You don't have to brace for love anymore. Sometimes I reread it like it's scripture. And yeah, there are days I think about her. The ex. Not with longing. Just detachment. Like remembering a movie that meant something once, but no longer hits the same. She taught me things. Unintentionally. Brutally. But she did. She taught me the difference between chaos and chemistry. Between desire and devotion. Between being needed and being chosen. And if I could go back, I wouldn't rewrite it. Because without her, I wouldn't have unlearned so much. Wouldn't have gotten to this version of me, the one who knows his worth, who holds boundaries like gospel, who no longer breaks himself to make someone else whole. The one who finally understands. Strength isn't what gets tested in pain. It's what gets rebuilt in peace. So if she ever tells someone, he wasn't strong enough to handle me, I hope they ask her what exactly needed handling. Because me? I wasn't built to carry people through fires they keep starting. I'm built for light. For laughter. For loyalty. For someone who doesn't just want love, but wants to keep it. And now I've got that. Her name is Harper. And every day I choose her. But more importantly, every day I choose me.